The purpose of this video is to demonstrate some of the advanced features of TotaLand.com. We're referring to them as advanced for a couple of reasons. They tend to be utilized less frequently than some of the main tasks that you will use on a daily basis, but more importantly, they really help to display the power that our unique table structure affords you in cases where you need to split a tract, copy a tract, import, or attach various realms to each other. That being said, we'll start with the split feature. There may be occasions where you need to take an existing tract where the ownership is only partially represented. For example, one party owns 50% interest in an entire 160 acres. As the remaining ownership is completed, however, you learn that the remaining interest owners may have sold off parts which would require subdividing the initial acreage for leasing, mapping, and reporting. The key here is that by splitting the tract, we maintain the integrity of all the realms associated with the existing tract. That is to say, they will follow into the new tract by default, unless you decide that you do not want them to. See here the current tract name followed by the new split tract. We can simply edit the tract name and adjust the acreage. As you key in the split acreage amount, it will automatically adjust the current acreage for you. It also allows for you to assign a tract status to newly created tracts. You have split options to attach or unattach various items. You can just copy and paste or type in the new property descriptions. In this project, the mapping feature is being utilized, so we have set Request Polygon as a default to allow for the map to be altered according to your request. You'll only have this as an option only when the mapping feature is being utilized. From this page, you can see that the split tract is now 21. If we open up Tracts and select the tract 21, then open the Ownership tab, we'll notice that the parties and their interest from the earlier tract has been brought into the new tract with automatic adjustment to the acreage differences. At this point, you can make any appropriate changes or additions that you may need to. Another similar function would be the Copy Tract option. For this example, we have a number of tracts that need to be input into the system, but they are very similar in nature. Perhaps town lots or neighborhood parcels. For this task, you know that very little is going to change from tract to tract, so instead of creating a new tract from the tract realm, we simply copy the current tract into a new tract. The copy options drop down just like the split options will allow for you to bring into the new tract any related realm items. The main difference being that where in a split tract you are manipulating or altering the acreage of two tracts at once, copying only allows for you to adjust the new tract leaving the earlier tract intact. Both features are valuable time-saving options. From this screen, we will move to the Import Parties feature. Select Parties on the left column and then click on the Import Parties tab. You'll see a list of all the tracts in this project with green plus signs to the right. This function allows us to bring in pre-existing parties as they are associated to other tracts in a contract that we are working on. You simply select whichever tract you want the parties to come from, and they will be added to your current contract. We'll check the ownership to reflect the new parties. Let's add a few more and recheck the new ownership breakdown. From here, we'll go into Contracts, and from this page we'll select the contract that we are familiar with. You can see that this tract 10 has 3 separate tracts attached to it. Go into the contract and then into the Tracts option, and you can see all of the tracts that are currently assigned to this contract. By clicking on the Virtual Tracts tab, we are able to create a tract using one or many tracts with the express purpose of simplifying the description for ownership reports, contracts, etc. For this set of tracts, we've discovered that their combined descriptions actually comprise the southeast quarter of the section. You could do this also for a plantation or other historical description if applicable. Once you select Create, you can view the contract or other report from documents. We'll go ahead and request a new contract because the existing one would have all the expanded descriptions of the acreage. As you can see, the contract now has the virtual tract description. Total acres remain the same. From here, we'll discuss adding multiple tracks to an existing contract. Since we are already in the contracts realm and we are looking to add more tracks to it, select Tracks, then Attach Tracks, which offers us the search option to identify any tracks available to us within a project. You just click on the plus sign to add tracks to the contract. A great shortcut here is the case where you want to add a specific track that you have the track numbers for. Just type in the various track numbers separated by asterisks and it will pull up these tracks for adding. This will pull up tracks 1, 5, and 8. You add them to the contract by clicking on the plus sign. And you can confirm this by clicking on the Tracks tab. We'll take it one step further and re-request a contract with the new tracks attached. You can see where earlier we had the Glendale Plantation. We now have the new tracks and the new gross acres of 320, not 160. For the next feature, we'll head to another project of Southeast Texas, then straight into Instruments, then Abstract Assembler. You can see that we have two abstracts associated with this project. Click on the first one and then click on Split Abstract. This feature allows for you to control the amount of pages and split the abstract into manageable parts. You now see the split reference 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. If you later decide you don't want to do this, select Rollback and it will return the abstract to its original condition. The last advanced feature will revisit something we mentioned earlier. The Request Polygon feature is selected any time that you are creating a new tract, splitting, or copying that requires a mapping representation. Not all projects utilize the map function, but when they do, this feature will be selected by default, so that as soon as the new tract or tracks appear, our mapping department can populate the map quickly and efficiently. As you can see, the mapping feature is a useful tool to represent work progress and keep things organized. So this wraps up our session on advanced features. Hopefully it helped demonstrate just how flexible and practical these tools are to help you get your work done.